If you have a large hole in drywall, I've got a real nice tip, an easy way to fix it. You can go to your hardware store and get these metal reinforced patches, and they have mesh tape that's self-adhesive built right onto it, and all you're going to do is you're going to take this, and this works extremely well if you have a hole like behind a doorknob that hit it and you're scared it may happen again. You've got this metal piece here, and all you have to do is center it. You need to know the size of your hole, of course, and we're just going to press it onto the drywall. That mesh is self-adhesive, and then all we're going to do is just run joint compound over the top of it. So to apply the first coat of compound, I'm just going to use two 6-inch blades, and I'm just going to put a super thin coat. One mistake most homeowners make is they either apply too much compound or they don't put 3 coats. And to get a professional finish, you really need to put 3 coats of compound on any patch. So for this first coat, we're just going to lightly embed the patch all the way around with the compound. It's just going to fill the holes. I'm going to come back very lightly, and we just want a very thin coat of compound, and you can make several passes until your knife marks disappear. And we're just going to let this dry. And because this is an all-purpose joint compound, it's going to take 6 to 8 hours for this to dry, and once that's thoroughly dry, we'll come back and put a second coat with a larger compound knife. I allowed the patch to dry overnight, and there's just a couple of high spots, so I'll take a compound knife and just run over it lightly, and we're knocking down any of the high spots or any little particles that might have dried on here. And now I'm going to take a 12-inch blade, and you can take a 10-inch or a 12-inch blade, and we're going to use some all-purpose joint compound. And we want to start a few inches from the patch and pull over, and I'm going to add a little more compound to this, and it makes it easy to work with 2 knives. You can kind of put the compound right where you want it. And we're just going to work a couple different directions. And you can make several passes. And our goal is to feather this up and over the patch and create the illusion that it's all blended and uniform. And take your time if you have to go back and forth a couple of times. What's nice about the all-purpose compound is that it doesn't dry very quickly, so it gives you time to work the product. So you can see that a little bit of the patch is showing through here, so I can put another thin layer over it, and I can rework it and just pull it lightly. Lightly over the patch. And so we'll let this dry for 24 hours, and we'll put a third coat on it, and it will absolutely disappear. The second coat is dry, and I'm just going to take a blade and lightly hit it in case there's any particles or high spots, and it actually feels really good. But the key to giving it a professional finish and making that patch disappear is applying this third coat. So again, I'm taking a 12-inch blade, and I'm just going to feather it out from the patch a few inches. And you can make multiple passes, and I'm going to remove the excess with a second blade and just pull it where you see those knife marks. Just come back another direction. And that's all there is to it. Let that dry. There should be very little sanding, and it should have just a beautiful finish. And then I'll come back in 24 hours once it's dry and just hit it lightly with a sanding sponge. You can also use sandpaper or a sanding block. And that's all there is to it to make a very professional patch.